Hi, Karen Gray Parker here with your weekly Human Design Evolution Report. It is springtime. Okay, I know that there's actually still 8 days till spring, but I have started my seedlings, and to me it is a vote that I am casting for summer. It is an optimistic perspective that allows me to live in my moment with the faith that someday soon the sun will arrive and the piles and piles and piles of snow that are outside my window will melt away, the grass will be green again, and I can go kayaking with my dog. This is my vote for the future, my place of faith. And springtime and the quarter that we're in the human design year embodies the potential of what we want to be creating. In this creative cycle, we are invited to, even when we don't see the evidence of it, to begin to take acts of faith, to boldly go forward as if what we're seeking to create will actually come true, to set the stage, to set the tone, to lay the foundation for what's next. This is Piscean energy. It's emotional. And if you watched my Mercury retrograde video last week, you know that emotional energy isn't really about the drama, right? Emotional energy is about aligning with faith, getting the emotional foundation laid that what you're seeking to create is about to be born, about to manifest into your life. It is continuing to hone your emotional state, to stay in a state of positive expectation, to literally act as if with your heart, so that that acting as if with your heart actually begins to pull into your experience things that match that vibration. We begin this week with the sun in the gate 22, grace, which invites us to surrender, figuring out how we're going to make whatever it is we're dreaming about possible, but to instead stay in that place of emotional alignment, that place of expectation that when we hold the energy, particularly when we hold the energy of being the full expression of our creative essence, when we hold that energy, the universe conspires on our behalf to fulfill all the needs that we may have as part of the journey of the fulfillment of that expression. In other words, when you expect that you will be supported in expressing the passion, the dreams, the desires, the creative expression you seek to have, when you expect that, then the universe matches that expectation through creation. And you get all the support you need to do what you came here to do and to be who you came here to be. The sun moves later this week into the gate 36. This is an interesting energy and one that I encourage you to really be mindful of, because the 36 is an energy that brings us to the edge of what's possible in our human journey. The 36 is all about having the next new experience, the next new leading edge of what's possible in the human journey. And we are always pushing the edge of what's possible in that human journey. That is part of the expansion, growth, evolution cycle of being a human being. There are two ways that stories get crafted in the human journey. Number one, they get crafted from commitment, perseverance, determination, repetition, doing something over and over and over again until we become masterful. That is the journey of, say, the Olympic athlete, right? It's that getting up at 5 o'clock and putting all your grit into it so that you can experience ultimately the grace of the success. And that becomes part of our collective story, right? You win the Olympics, you get your picture on the Wheaties box. The second way that we craft stories in human design and the blueprint for the human experience is through experiencing the next new potential, the next new experience, the next new possibility. And it's usually just a one-time shot. So Evel Knievel trying to jump across the Grand Canyon is a gate 36 experience. It's that one time, do it because you can, try it because it stretches the boundary and the edges of the story of what we think is possible. And then we can all go, okay, cool, people can jump across the Grand Canyon and we don't all have to go do it, right? That 36 energy can sometimes be chaotic. It's emotional, which means you don't engage in the action until the energies are aligned. Evel Knievel had to prepare, not in the same way that an Olympic athlete prepares necessarily, but certainly there was an amount of emotional readiness that needed to happen, courage, bravery, stick-to-itness, or whatever, to leap across that Grand Canyon. And we had to, of course, have, backup systems in place, things in place in case that leap became a disaster, right? You don't want to leap when the energy's not correct. You don't want to leap when the timing's not correct, because if you leap when the timing's not correct, if your fantasies and your desires don't calibrate things correctly, if you got bored waiting and you decided to heck with it, I'm just going to do it now, you may have found in the past that you leapt into chaos, right? So this energy invites us not to let boredom rule, not to let impatience rule, not to let impetuousness rule, or even let the power of our fantasies drive us perhaps to the point of doing something a little bit unsafe, but to instead trust that as we continue to calibrate our energies, we are crafting a new story. We are waiting for alignment with that story. And that story, once the timing is right and we get the pulse, the impulse, the right signs that the timing is right to engage, when we get that alignment, then we go forward and we have that next new experience, that next new process. We push the boundaries of what is possible in the human story. And as we do that, we literally change the human story. And as we change that story, we change the course. We set a different course, a different potential direction for the journey that is the human adventure. In other words, this is still a week for you to create emotional alignment with what you want. Use your power of fantasy and imagination. Use your faith to stir up a state of positive expectation, but do not take any actions until you feel emotionally aligned. Don't be reactive and leap into chaos, but instead be deliberate. Continue to harness your emotional energy so that you can use that energy as a creative force to sustain your faith, to sustain your belief that soon the snow will melt, soon the little seedlings will emerge from the dirt, and even if you can't see it yet, it's on its way, it's coming, it's headed your direction. We are in the tail end of this cycle of being sort of, I want to say under the dirt, but I don't mean like in the bad way. I mean under the dirt like the seedlings. You don't see what's happening under the dirt if you've planted your seeds or started your garden yet, but you know already the little roots are laying down and the shoots are coming up, and soon those leaves will bust through the dirt and will begin the full manifestation of the process. But just because you can't see it yet doesn't mean it's not happening. So align yourself, pay attention to your ideas, pay attention to your imagination, continue to give yourself permission to calibrate your emotional energy. Get clear if you aren't, get clear on what you want. And if you don't know what you want, start fantasizing about it and see how it feels, and then wait and see what shows up. Don't leap because you're bored. Don't leap because it's too exciting and you can't wait. Take your time. Everything unfolds exactly as it needs to, even the zucchini plants. All right, have a great week. I'll talk to you next week.